Hello. Yes, the zombie invasion has started. I'm just going to be doing some work on the front door. It's really badly lit here, so it's going to be difficult. So what I'm working on at the moment is, whoa, let's have a look. What I'm working on is the inside. Oh yes, I can see. With my wire brush. So I need my gloves on. Then I'm going to be rubbing down all the flaky loose bits. Then when it's clean, I've got some polystyrene sheets that I'm going to use as an insulation to stick in to this pattern in the door, and then some cork to make a nice finish, hopefully. So let's give that a go. Okay, so that's a good amount of mess come off. I'm just doing the back side of the door, not the front side at the moment. So all the loose bits have come off, which is nice. So I'll get them swept up, and then I'm going to paint the very edges, and then I can start with the polystyrene. Morning everyone. So ran out of light last night, but I did get it all brushed down with the wire brush, and I got all the little edges that I think I'll still see when I've got the insulation and the cork on. So I'm leaving the little window piece as an entirely different thing. The glass is fine, but all of this mess here, that's all on the outside. So I have to figure out a way of tackling that when I do the outside. But it's a miserable grey day today, but not yet raining, so it's good to have a nice indoor project. So let's get the polystyrene out and get that cut and stuck on the door. So this is the polystyrene I have. It's 2 centimeters thick and quite large, so I'm hoping I have enough in my 3 sheets. They were only $1.49 a sheet, so I think the thermal properties of polystyrene are really good, and that should, if it sticks to the door well, make a good warm door for the winter and keep the heat out in the summer. So let's give it a go. Okay, so it's going to be a bit like a jigsaw, because I'm trying to use the struts on the door to help me hold the polystyrene in. So I'm sort of thinking, get a big bit and then I'll try and mark the shape. That works quite well, and then I can cut that out and it'll be a bit like a jigsaw. I love jigsaws. And a bit like a workout, doing squats. Anybody else hit that noise? It's like fingernails on a blackboard. got my first piece cut. Let's see if it fits. Really tight. Yeah, that's good. And then I'll fill in the little bits with the smaller pieces. Now I'll move on to the rest of it. Nearly there. Just the last 3 pieces now. 2 here and 1 there. And we're getting down to the last bits of polystyrene. So that was a good amount to buy. So I've got my glue. It says that it's you don't need nails. Gum, and it's extra strong, and I've checked, it says it sticks all kinds of stuff to all kinds of stuff, and I've tried it on 2 little bits of leftover polystyrene, because I know polystyrene can be a bit funny and can melt sometimes, but I've left it for over half an hour and nothing's happened other than they've stuck together, so all good. Right, so I'm going to put some blobs of this all along each of my pieces and then squash them in and leave them until tomorrow. That felt good. I could feel it like oozing underneath the pressure of my hands, so I'll just keep going on and get it done. So that's everything stuck on. I've used all my glue up. We're just going to have to wait for that to dry, but that's pretty good. So I think I will crack on and paint the outside now. Darren asked me to record how I make my little flatbreads that I did for lunch the other day. So here's a quick recipe. 1.5 cups of plain flour, about half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of yeast, half a teaspoon of sugar, and some just warm water. Not sure how much, I just do it by eye. Quite soft, a little bit sticky, nice. Quick knead, not much. That's it, cover it, and I'm going to leave it for about an hour. It's been about an hour, hour and 10 minutes. We're getting hungry, so I'm going to crack on with this. Got my rolling pin. So I've got my 4 rounds and I'm just going to dampen the edges with a bit of water. For the filling today, I'm thinking Marmite. Oh, there's the rain starting. and some vegan cheese. Stick one on top of the other. And then pop it in the pan. Couple of minutes, both sides. Lovely. Then some sliced tomatoes and salad on top of that with a drizzle of olive oil. And there's lunch. I've rubbed the outside of the door down with the wire brush and got all of that mess swept up. Then I've swept it with the soft brush to get all the bits off, and now I'm going to give it a paint. But the rain's just started, so luckily we've got our temporary shelter outside. So I've just spent the last hour taping up the window here, so all my little bits of masking are all in there, and then that's the last piece of painting I have to do. It's the next day from when I was showing you what I was doing before. Yeah, it's all painted, but the colour on the door is very red compared to what was on the top of the tin. So I'm not going to give it a second coat. I'm going to look for a better, darker red, because that's a bit too bright and in your face for me. I would like a darker cherry red. And then it'll get its second coat, which should hopefully go on really nicely. There we go. That's that one all painted. Just as well I took so much time over masking that up, because it was really difficult to get in the little grooves. So while that one's drying, I'm going to work on the back and try and get my cork to cover the polystyrene. Good morning everyone. It's been a day or two since I worked on the front door. So I got the polystyrene put on the back and that glued really well. However, the cork that I'd wanted to use to make like a nice covering just wasn't working at all. Looked horrible. Didn't like it. So I took it off, washed the polystyrene down, and that's where we are with that. I think what I'll do is, because the polystyrene has such good thermal properties and it's keeping a lot of the cold out on a night and a lot of the heat out during the day, I might just get a curtain and put that on. I have got a curtain that's been used at the moment that I really like, and it's not going to be used full time because the doorway that it's covering is going to be bricked up eventually. So I think I'll just live with the front door as it is and the polystyrene and use the curtain as soon as that becomes available. The other thing I said about the front door was that I really didn't like that red shade, and when we looked at the colour on the tin, I'll show you them. So this was the original one, which is Rio Vivo, and it looks really nice on the tin lid, so I can see why Darren chose it, but it came out a real sort of bright cherry red. That's what's on this window frame at the moment. So I got another tin, done the door, and I'm much happier with that. It's the cherry red I was after as opposed to a bright red. So that's had a second coat, which went on really quickly and really well. It's just drying and I'm much happier with that. So there we go. Good morning everyone, and it's been another busy week. Well, that's strange, isn't it? We haven't managed to film quite as much as we thought we would this week, even though we've been super busy. And that's because a lot of the jobs have required more than 2 hands, and they've required more than 4. 5 and 6 would have been helpful most of the time. But you've seen what we've done on the land, so now I thought I would show you what we've done to the house. So it's all been focused on the front of the house, and it's looking quite tidy. Let's have a look. Here we are in the morning sunshine. So the blue temporary tarp that was hanging down everywhere to keep the rain off the front door has gone. We found a better quality green tarp which isn't so much in your face, and what we've done is we've attached it to the underside of the tiles and then attached it to the metal structure that was already here. And we've been really lucky having that existing metal structure because it's made everything so much easier. So what have we done? So we got the better quality tarp and we've attached it with actual guttering attachments along the edge of the tiles so that it goes underneath the tile, and then as the rain comes down the roof it falls onto the tarp. But now we've made a strong structure just underneath to attach some guttering to. You might be thinking that's a bit counterintuitive going up the street, but it's just the way that the original structure was. It was lower here on this right hand side than it was on the left, so the rain comes down off the roof onto the tarp into the gutter, and then yes, it does flow back in front of the house, but it's out on the street, it's not falling on us. And what we've also done is get our larger solar panel up on the roof. This is a new one, so I think it's about 180 watts. It's not yet connected, as the eagle-eyed will see. The connectors are just there. We're struggling to get solar cable, but we think we might have just sourced some, so we're going into Castelo tomorrow, and we hopefully will get some. Then my idea here was to extend out our little platform for the Starlink, which seems to be working really well because it has no obstructions, and it's covered by the same tarp. So yeah, and it looks quite neat and tidy. Then I've got all of the windows and the door and the gate and the metal structure all painted with the same new darker cherry red, and we're just in the process of clearing out all of the bits in the front garden, still collecting my stones. I have quite a few, although I haven't had chance to do that, and all of the calla lilies are growing like crazy now. So yeah, we just need housing for our gas bottle, and then I'll probably need to repaint because I can see loads of marks on the front where we have had ladders up and bits of tools and everything. So our original solar panel is now here, just temporarily. Ideally it should go up on the roof, I know, but we just didn't have a ladder long enough. It was a struggle to get that one up where it is, and then the roof is even higher above that, and we have to go in through the old ruin next door, which is full of rubble, so it's not the best. Yep, so that's what we've been up to this week. One of our neighbours walked past just as I was finishing off, and he said, "Ooh, beautiful." Not me, the work that we were doing. So yeah, that's what we've done this week. So another busy week, but we feel like we've made good progress, and especially with the work that you've seen on the land, with all of the fencing and getting those little plants in. So yeah, really good week. I say a week, that might be stretched to sort of 8 or 9 days. It was a long week. So I think what we'll do now is draw the video to a close, and I'd like to say thank you for everyone who's watched. If you have watched and you're enjoying what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe. Give us a like, because it really does help. We've had lots of new subscribers recently since we arrived in Portugal, so welcome everyone. And again, a big thank you to our patrons. As I said at the beginning, we saved up all of the monthly donations that they make via Patreon, and that went a big way to helping us buy the fencing that we had and that we've now got on the first section of the land. And Max enjoys it because he can now run around and jump in the lake and generally have a much better time. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.